Okay, tried to record with my laptop and it just didn't sound good, so we got the big studio mic out. I'm sitting here with the guitar. Well, first I'd like you to get used to the style of the project videos that I make. And generally I'll make a drawing like this or a painting, and my habit is to then do the voiceover afterwards rather than trying to draw and talk at the same time with a Bob Ross style or something. So this is probably what you'll be getting most of the time, which gives me a chance to think about what I was doing. And I suppose that's an interesting thing to consider right here, because what I want you to do for the first project, or maybe the first couple projects, is to not think. Don't try to make the picture something that is going to leave a good first impression or anything like that. Don't worry about that. You don't have to immediately come in and just declare, that you're an artist. And maybe you're not an artist. Maybe you're just taking an art class. And I think a lot of times you'll start something like that, like an art class, through a school like ours, or maybe a private school, or an instructor, whatever it might be. And they start to show you how you should draw. I think there's a lot of good that comes out of that, because you can learn how to draw things in a very effective way. And you're probably getting into this because you want to draw things that look real or could be considered real. But also consider the opposite, which is what we're trying to go for here. Now we're calling this project Doodling Is Drawing. From conversations I've had with students at the beginning of the school year, usually in a beginning class where they say they can't draw but they love to doodle. I just doodle, they say. And I am always quick to say that doodling is drawing. Drawing is just dragging a tool around on a piece of paper or cardboard or whatever you're drawing on. And it doesn't need to be anything else than that. From a pretty early age, we all draw. And what happens to the vast majority of us is that at some point, somebody shows us how to draw a certain way, or we see the finished images of what drawings are supposed to look like, and we stop scribbling. We stop being a little free with our thought process about what making art actually is. And it's always a good reminder to just go back to what the simplest process can be. Now, I know that that's really heavy philosophical stuff to think about. What is the meaning or the process of making art here at the beginning? So don't think about it. When I doodle, or when I start drawing free like this, it's a bunch of kind of shapes, circles, chubby rectangles, triangles, big flowing lines. And you can use that if you like. But if your hand wants to make the entire thing out of dots or circles or ocean waves, flying birds, it can be in any style that you like. I just kind of want to declare in the first project that we're artists. We're going to make work, and lots of different types of work are going to be accepted, because it's not, with me as your teacher, it's not really going to be do it my way, or it's not good. There's going to be lots of freedom that you can use, and the projects are designed to teach you skills. Like this is teaching you a skill here, which we'll talk about in a minute. But they're also creative projects to help you be free, and that freedom can be as simple as just relaxing. And so something like this is perfect for that. Now, one of the skills that we're going to talk a lot about is composition, which is, you can think of it as just organization. So if we were discussing the composition of this initial doodle or drawing, you'd see kind of two bulky sides with a thinning bridge, almost like they're being pulled apart. Right? You can see that. Or maybe it's an arm of something that's kind of connecting these two larger shapes. That's a structure. That's a composition. And I want you to try and make, in your version of whatever this is, a composition or a structure. Right? And they usually break down into very simple shapes. Of the entire page has a triangle kind of shape, or in this case, two circles with a connecting kind of rectangle in between. And if you just kind of squint your eyes, you can see that. I think it just has a lot of detail laid over the top of it. You can also see that kind of flowing line through the middle. I always call those flow lines, and I like to put them in there at the beginning to remind me of the movement of where things are supposed to go. The other thing we want to go after in your doodle drawing here is some negative space, and that in this drawing is the dark black that we put in the background there with the ballpoint pen. It's kind of cross-hatched, so I didn't try and really make it a jet black or anything like that. And I'll take that opportunity to remind you that you are not a desktop printer. Okay? Your job is not to make perfect lines and perfectly filled in areas or anything like that. We can show you how to do that, in the art department here. But I think you get more out of it if you just kind of be free with those areas a little bit more. We read that as negative space in the background there. So don't worry about making it perfect. And what that negative space, that dark space up on the top and the bottom there, it does is it creates depth. It looks like it's further away because there's nothing back there. So try and go for that too. Negative space and a composition, a push and pull, a flow. One of the things that I want to stress from the beginning is to make the entire picture. Go to the edge. If there's white space in your picture, it's deliberate. You did it on purpose. So what we're going to try and avoid is just what a lot of people do is they get a gigantic piece of paper or any size piece of paper and they draw something in the middle of it and the rest of the page is just ignored. And it looks a little bit more like a model, a drawing, or something that you would do a logo with or something like that. But so we're going to stress the opposite of that, is to really take and consider the entire rectangle or square or whatever shape we're trying to fill in. So just a little bit of what this thing is. It took an hour to make. That's a regular ballpoint pen. We started off with a pencil. You can do the entire thing in pencil if you want. You can use a marker, anything you like. And it's an 8x10 block on a 8x10 outline on a 11x14 piece. And just try and fill in the space, make an interesting thing. It doesn't have to be abstract. You can make a pile of bunny rabbits, or a flowing city or something. It doesn't matter. If you want to doodle faces, or if you want to doodle skyscrapers, that's all relevant stuff too. Just have fun with it. This is supposed to be fun. Like this at the very end, where it's flying by real fast. Doodling is drawing. Composition, a little bit of negative space, pack in the detail as much as you can. See where it goes.